Hey, and welcome to another episode of Life, Love, and Lipstick with Tracy and Lesley. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing well, girl. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good.
Surviving.
Yes.
Surviving. Lately, I've just been a little bit off.
Hmm.
Like, I know that the days are getting longer, which is nice.
Yes,
Waking up to, brighter days.
I
And
agree.
it's lighter longer, which is nice. But you know what? I'm in a funk. I don't know what it is. Girl, do you ever feel like that where you're just
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, we can motivate everybody else and like we believe everything that we say and that we put out there. But
Yeah.
man, some days it's really tough. It's just us versus us, ourself versus ourself.
Hmm.
And it's hard.
And it's,
Hard.
it's extra, sometimes it can be more difficult when you also have, we both have kids. And I
Mm,
think a lot of people can agree with us. It's hard to sometimes, just keep yourself together. And then
yeah.
you've got them depending on you and put on your happy face, right? And be a strong parent.
Mhm.
It absolutely is hard. And I know what you're saying about the days getting longer. I thought, okay, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Some
I
days,
know. And
wow.
in two a lot of times, like we're busy, we are constantly doing things, like we said, inside the house, outside the home,
Yeah.
trying to be a woman, trying to be
Yes.
female,
Mhm.
trying to be a mom, doing all this stuff. That one of the questions that I've been asking myself, how to stay so positive in a world that is just negative. It doesn't matter. You put on the TV or on social, there's always something, right? And even though we both put out like some pretty good stuff as far as content,
Mhm.
and there's just those days where you're like overwhelmed because it is hard to stay positive in a world that's so negative.
It is. And, that exposure, I think we've all watched the news a little bit more than we should have in the last year
Mhm.
because we want to know what's going on with the pandemic. Every
Yeah.
day is a new day, right? But you get that you're just almost just completely saturated with too
Mhm.
much. And
Yeah.
sometimes you realize, oh my gosh, I just had the TV on for hours. And I'm just, you're taking in all that. And that negativity, as you say, it just really starts to weigh on you.
And someone said to me, "You choose to be a positive person. That is your choice. You wake up every day and you say you're going to be positive." But I'm going to tell you, there are days where I
Mhm.
wake up and I'm like, I'm going to be positive. I'm happy. I'm grateful. I am blessed. As
Yes.
soon as I put my feet on the floor,
Yeah.
it's like, oh
Mhm.
man, there,
Especially if you get hit with something too along the way.
yeah.
As they say, you're not supposed to open up your phone and look at your texts or your emails, but you do. And sure enough, you get something that piles on to that feeling
Yes.
and your day starts to spiral downwards.
Or you're already hearing the fighting that's happening down the hall. That sets the
Yes.
tone. They
Yes.
say that we should look at our daily routine. And with that, like they say, how you start your mornings will be so
Mhm.
impactful about your whole day.
Mhm.
And I'm the person that will be like, well, I call BS on that sometimes because even though I have good intentions,
Sure.
it's not my fault that I'm having a bad day. Maybe it's not my fault that I'm not, a positive person every single
Mhm.
moment because I feel like it's okay to not be positive, but I also do believe that yes, you have to look at your routine. And
Mhm.
they're saying like there's so many things that you can do
Yeah.
to just be more positive. But and that's the whole theme of our show for Life, Love, and Lipstick today.
It
It's about
is.
being positive, and it can
Mhm.
only take like 2 minutes a day that will
Mhm.
change your whole day. And if
Yes.
you look at the whole schedule of our days, 2 minutes seems pretty doable, I think. I think I could probably do that.
It does. We need things in short sound bites these days, but sometimes we need to lean on somebody else. And there are a lot of people out there right now trying to help other people
Mhm,
because they do have that positivity reset and they're like helping us. So
mhm.
that brings us to our first ever guest on
First
Life,
one.
Love, and Lipstick. And her name is KAIME Sherman. And I'll tell you a little bit about her before we bring her on. So she's an award-winning owner and founder of AiDa, which is Academy of Imagination and Dramatic Arts in Hamilton, Ontario. It's a mission-driven arts education for all ages. She's an artist and an author of Creativity and Flow, a journal of ideas and inspiration. She's a creator, instructor of the art of speaking, communicating, relating. She's a mentor, community partner, and as you just alluded to, that 2-minute positivity boost. She's the host of that on YouTube. So people can look at that. We'll have that in our show notes afterwards as well. And she also created and is an instructor for the art of communicating at Mohawk College. Hello, there you are. Hi,
Hey,
Katie.
welcome.
I'm bragging about you right now, Kaimie. I have so many wonderful things to say about you.
Oh, Lesley, aren't you sweet? Bless your heart.
So KAIME, this is my co-host Tracy, and we are so happy to have you
Hi.
on with us.
Tracy, hello. What a pleasure. I am so excited to be here and so thrilled to be here with you. And
we are very,
especially,
very excited to have you part of our sisterhood.
Yes.
And as Lesley said, our first guest. So, I'm going to keep my mouth shut because I want to learn about you, girl. I am so excited to have you on.
So
bless
KAIME,
your
you
heart.
do put out so many positive things on social media, but let's go back a little bit. You are from way back in your youth.
Yes.
You had this love for theater arts. And
Yes.
so take us maybe on that little bit of that journey, and then we can come to now.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that is pretty, my kids would be saying to me, please don't ramble and I won't bore you with all of the journey.
Mhm.
But I have to tell you, I think that I was born to be an actor, born to be an artist. I was always a dreamer. And believe it or not, I was an incredibly shy kid. I was so shy that when I went to a restaurant with my parents, I couldn't tell the server what I wanted to eat. And so my parents basically said to me, you have to find your voice. You have to come out of your shell. And basically, my mother being a very creative person and very active in community theater, put me into plays. In fact, my first production was playing Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. And that was when I was in grade 5. And I guess after that, I seemed to find my niche and my love for the theater and for acting. So my journey growing up was that acting and theater were always incredibly important, but I had wanted to be a lawyer. I thought that I was going to take that path and help people. I was always very compassionate and empathetic, and somehow the arts kept always making me find my center.
But
So
with that, though, you were able to help people in a different way, though.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. In fact, the wonderful thing was that when people meet me now, they think that I am very outgoing and extroverted, but those people are not seeing the timid and shy and very insecure little soul that I was in elementary school. And it was through the theater that actually I found, again, like I said, my voice and my purpose. And it wasn't until then that I got into university and played Cinderella, which I actually loved so much. Because when you think back, I got to play Dorothy and then playing Cinderella and then working with the children's theater. I always found that the working with kids was so incredible because as an actor, they see right through you. So if you're not believable, they're going to tell you.
They will tell you, you're right.
Exactly. They are so honest and so authentic that if they don't believe you, they're going to say, oh, well, she wasn't Cinderella. I don't believe her. So from then, my path from becoming a lawyer started to change. And of course, then the moment that changed my life was I was in the green room at our university and found this big poster that was about auditions in New York and Los Angeles for the very prestigious American Academy of Dramatic Arts.
Right.
Well, I don't know if you know much about that professional school, but it is the oldest acting conservatory in the world. Yes. And we do have the most winners of Oscars, Emmy, and Tonys of any other professional school. And so I went home and told my parents about that. And I said, oh my gosh, I would love to audition. Well,
I thought you were going to be a lawyer, they say.
That's exactly right. They thought that my path was set. And then I said, well, I really would like to go to the school. And then my mother, playing the devil's advocate, to really, I think, try to see if I was passionate and what my focus was, if I was really going to be serious about this, said, what makes you think that you can get into a school like that? Do you realize that this is the school of Grace Kelly, Robert Redford, and Bancroft, Cecil B. DeMille, not to mention all the contemporaries now, because this is going back, remember, 40 years ago.
Sure. Yes, yes, of course.
And I said, well, can I at least try? And she said, okay. So actually, this is really quite incredible because it goes to show you that my parents believed in me so much. They actually took me 2,000 miles from my small town in Missouri, all the way. See, when you're from there, you say.
That's, yeah, we do not say it like that here.
I know. Probably thinking, where? What state is that? But they took me to Los Angeles and I auditioned for the executive director. And actually, it was really quite funny because he was a big television star at the time. Mm-hmm. And my sister was, young. And actually, it was like, do y'all ever remember the television show Fame or the movie Fame?
I was just talking about Fame last night.
Well, it was loosely based on my school. And in fact, our executive director played one of the significant parts on that show. And he was also a lead in a show that was really big at that time called AiDa's Enough. So here I'm getting ready to do this audition. And my mother was like, well, what are you going to do? What's your audition piece? Now, I worked on this for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks prior. Mm-hmm. And obviously, I really wanted to do a great job because, they brought me 2,000 miles.
No pressure.
No pressure. So I prepared, because mm-hmm. they were famous for Shakespeare, mm-hmm. I prepared a scene from Romeo and Juliet. Well, I'm about to get into character and get all ready for this major audition when the bell changed and hundreds of kids are going through the halls and it's bustling and it's busy and you're seeing all these actors mm-hmm. and stars and celebrities because mm-hmm. they're teachers, they're working actors, whether they're on the soaps, whether they're on primetime television, whatever, they're all walking the halls. And my sister, who is 14 at the time, is saying, oh my gosh, there's Dr. Max from AiDa's Enough, or there's and I'm like, please chill.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna be one of them.
Yes. So it was quite incredible. So let's just say that audition mm-hmm. changed my life path. Mm-hmm. So
you got the bug.
I got the bug. And you know what? It's really hard to actually not get the bug mm-hmm. due to the fact that all of my instructors were the masters in the industry.
Right.
And I'm pretty well a protege of a very famous director named Don Richardson. And it's really interesting because actually just last weekend, the Academy Alumni Association for the Actors Society actually interviewed me last week because I am a legacy alumni. That means I'm old.
There's no labels here at Life, Love, and Lipstick. Okay,
no.
we don't use the word old.
And
legacy sounds good.
Lipstick,
yeah,
because as Elizabeth Taylor said, put on some lipstick and pull yourself together.
That's right.
Yes. And speaking of lipstick, we like the whole point of this is like leaving your mark in life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you have obviously left your mark on so many people, so many souls, and in the industry. I want you to talk about today's why. You do a 2-minute positivity message every single day. And as I started off the beginning of the show, I feel like that's just, in such a negative world, we need positive, but we need real people being positive. And I believe that is exactly what you do. Your messages I have watched, Lesley shared with me, love it. So tell me about why it's so important for you to get a 2-minute message out every day.
Well, I will tell you why. Number one, this past year has been so challenging on so many. People have lost people. I lost my own mother. It's been really hard. Get a little.
Sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's been really hard for a lot of people. Yeah. So you have to learn that when times get tough, we all have to stick together.
Yeah.
And you know what? People are going through such dire changes in their life. First of all, I have to say, as human beings, we need connection. We need to talk to people.
Do we
We
ever?
need to connect to people. Which is why, by the way, it's very important to me that I have created for kids and for youth and adults a class on communication and public speaking
I love that.
called The Art of Communicating. And I've actually partnered with Mohawk College with continuing education. I've helped out there with so many people. Why do I go back to this? Because you know what, Tracy and Lesley, people as well as human beings, we need the connection.
Yes.
We need to stay positive because I'll tell you what, thoughts are things. And if we actually stopped for a moment to think of what happens to our mind, our spirit, when we have a negative thought, oh my goodness, we'd never have a negative thought again. Because you as the person have to determine your path for the day, for the year, for your lifetime. You have to find that positivity within yourself, and it begins with the self-love. It begins with that self-esteem. Me telling you about that little girl in grade school that was so shy, I couldn't, I was like a little wallflower.
And true, even if you don't feel that positive when you wake up or throughout your day, listening to your messages, listening it and absorbing it makes you, it does replace that negative thinking that's happening in our mind.
Well, thank you, because I have to say I'm a firm believer in this. And if you ask my husband, you ask my children, my students at AiDa, I think this. You determine your own happiness. You are in charge. You are the master of your day. You are the master of your life. It's up to you. It begins with you. It begins with your positive thinking, but you have to take it a step forward. It's not just the thinking, it's the action. You have to put things into action. And this is why it's so important to me to spread that positivity to people. Because when you wake up in the morning, you decide, am I going to have a good day? Well, hey, maybe I've got some challenging things today, but you know what? I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to put my foot forward. And you know what? I always say, you have to start every day with gratitude. My goodness, ladies, when you get to be my age.
Remember, there's no age here.
You wake up and I wake up every morning and I think, oh, thank God I woke up. You know, I had this discussion with my daughter actually the other day because she was saying, you know, Mommy, people, you know, your age, you know, I'm going to be 62 in a couple of weeks. 62 spins around the sun. But you know what? She said, you know what, Mommy, most people are retiring at your age. I thought about this morning.
No.
You know what? I feel like I'm just beginning.
I love it.
I feel like I am just finding myself, my purpose, my mission, and I'm ready to share it.
Thanks for saying that too, KAIME, because the word retirement was from the war times. Like that is gone now. All we're doing, right, is we're moving from our one phase to another phase. And that's what we should do all the way through is live our whole life whole, like fully.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And you know what? People are living longer. We're taking better care of ourselves.
Yes.
You know, I was talking about, and not only when I talk about create positive change and about the power of your self-love, you have to take care of yourself. You have to have that self-care. You have to really put yourself first, because I'll tell you what we say as an actor, you are your instrument. Yeah. You are your whole body, your voice, your everything. You are the instrument. So It's almost like how the sages always said too, is your body is your temple. You have to take care of yourself. You have to rejuvenate yourself. And I think that the secret or the magic to all this positivity is when you I guess embrace each day with gratitude, when you feel good about yourself and you realize that, hey, there's nobody else like you. You are a unique masterpiece, whether, I mean, we all have our quirkiness, we all have our great things that make us wonderful. You have to embrace that and know that you are the master of your own destiny. You get to write your own story. So I think that's important. You know, you also talk about how I created this this YouTube channel and the group on
I love
Facebook
it.
for
Yes, it's good.
positivity. Thank you so much. It's just that I felt that if I needed it, and I noticed that I had a void for myself wanting to, you know, express that creativity and positivity. And then I thought if I could share that, and it's almost like, you know, laughter is contagious, enthusiasm is contagious, positivity is contagious. And if we can work better as a community together, then wow, it's a win-win, right?
And when I watched one of your videos, you were just getting your hair done and how great you felt and you were shining, you were blooming. And you know what came to me? It's something that I'm learning. Self-love and self-care. It's not vanity, it is sanity. And it is okay to put yourself first. It's okay to do things that make you feel good, no matter if it's, I mean, I got my eyebrows waxed and I was super excited and I felt like $1 million walking out of there.
Yeah.
It is. And especially during our quarantine and our lockdown, well, my goodness, everybody has been hungry for whether it's the manicure, whether it's the haircut. And you know what? There's something refreshing and revitalizing about a simple haircut.
Yes.
You know, it really does make you feel better.
You know what I love during the pandemic? I love I'd go get a giant coffee and I'd go and have a bath in the middle of the day. I'm like, I'm drinking a coffee in the bath and this is okay because it feels good.
Nobody judged you during the pandemic. That was probably what you're like, that's the best thing. Nobody judged you. So if you were putting on your third face mask of the day, because I was trying to get rid of some like lines, nobody cared. But I was taking time for myself and it makes you feel
exactly. And do it. You know what? And I have actually found so many positives about working from home. It's been wonderful. So much to the point that I usually have my little senior Chihuahua with me, but now I've been here too long at my desk that she's gone off to lay down. But I was saying to my husband too, wow, with everybody working from home, think about the pets. They've all enjoyed being with their loved ones, their significant others, right? And now when people are starting to get back into work, going to be an adjustment for everyone.
And
right?
your pets feed off of you. And so do your other family members.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. It's so true. But you know what? Positivity is definitely a choice. It's your own choice when you wake up. Am I going to be happy? Is it going to be a good day? I tell my students all the time, no one can steal your joy.
Right.
Because a lot of times people sit there and they, oh, well, so-and-so or my boss, you know, took my happiness today or, oh, blah, blah, blah. You are the master of your own journey, of your ship.
Well, and sometimes, you know, we were saying prior to bringing you on, KAIME, that sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you wake up and you have the best intentions. So we need a little help from people like you. And you know, that those 2 minutes of, you know, self-love and affirmation, right? Just to kind of get you rolling and put you in a different perspective.
Yes. Well, you know what? I have to say that this all started for me. Well, here, this sounds like a little plug, but
plug away. Yes. So let's talk about your book.
And we love books, so we're happy about this.
But it's not. It's a humble brag.
It's awesome.
But you know what? This book I wrote and published last year. It's called Creativity and Flow. It's a journal of ideas and inspiration. Now, being a first-time author, I could have done a zillion different stories that I actually have in development. But I chose to do this one as my first publication. Why?
Mm.
Because it hopefully will help other people.
Right.
Because with this book, it's a journal. I have put all kinds of inspiring affirmations and inspirational quotes that actually have meant a lot to me on my journey.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that other people will find the same.
Yep.
And of course, then I've done it to where it is an actual journal so that people write their own story.
Great.
And they can be inspired, like write their journey.
Yes.
Find that amazing warrior, fierce
Mhm.
soul that's within you.
Like you said, find
And
your voice earlier. This is
your voice.
exactly.
Exactly. Your
I think it's
authentic voice.
I think it's nice for they have always encouraged journaling, right? And I know it's kind of come back around again, but to be able to do that on your good days sometimes and then go back on your bad days, it might help you remember that you can get back into that state of mind, right? It's not, I've done that before and I've gone back and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that was a good day. I can be there again.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm.
And what's so fantastic about this is that you find your creativity, it's like love. The more you have, the more you get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's incredible. And
how can people get that book? How can people get that book, KAIME?
Actually, it's available on Amazon.
Oh, perfect.
Amazon.com. And it's simple, easy, just author and my name. So it's very, very easy.
Well, we'll definitely
and it ships the next day.
Right, exactly. We're going to have all your links up so people can find you, KAIME. And I know you're doing great things for kids and adults, allowing people, again, bringing that shyness, getting rid of the shyness and coming forth and being able to communicate and, speak up and feel like, more confident with yourself.
Yes, absolutely. It's so important because, well, obviously with you all in our industry, first of all, being able to communicate your thoughts and to connect is the most important thing. And right now, communication, public speaking skills have never been more important than they are now.
True.
Right?
Especially job interviews, because a lot of people are going through different careers. And I know that we have to wrap this up. And that was one of the things that stood out when I read your bio, that you're helping people learn how to speak when it comes to job interviews, because that is something a lot of us haven't been on in a long time.
Oh, yes.
You've been on multiple and you still just can't master it. So, KAIME, I want to say thank you so much for being a part of our sisterhood here at Life, Love, and Lipstick. We will be posting about you. We will put all your links so that they can get in touch with you, get in with everything that's so positive about you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, as a community, we get stronger together.
We do.
And thank you for doing what you're doing, because you're providing an amazing platform and forum for women, for everyone. And especially since this is actually the very first day of our Women's History Month. This is amazing. So congratulations on the launch of your podcast.
Thank you so much, KAIME. Thank you again. And we really appreciate it. And thanks for bringing positivity to our world right now when we need it so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Mwah.
Bye. Mwah.
Well, Lesley, that was great. It is true. We got to find our voice. And I think that the last 2020, 2020, 2021, it's like the time for us to find our voice. It's the time to realize that it's okay. It's okay to have your good days. But like you said, I love when you said, write it all down so that you remember that those bad days don't last and you can bounce to a good day. And then we're all normal. We're all going through things and it's okay. Self-love, that's probably one of the things that I know we will talk about more and more. It's a good thing. It's not vanity. It keeps you. The quote was, self-love and self-care isn't about vanity. It's about sanity. And I love it so much because
I love that too.
Guilty.
I know. But you know what? I've really felt in the last year during this pandemic that I've had to give myself, and through a lot of what I've been going through in the last many years, if I didn't do the self-love, and it can be different things for different people, right? Even just getting to a yoga class, whatever that may be, you need that to regenerate and be available.
And I think that is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to put another face mask on. I'm going to
Beautiful.
try to hydrate and plump and see what comes up under all of this. It's time. Well, Lesley, cheers to you. Have a great week. And we'll see you next week. Life,
Thanks,
love,
everyone.
and lipstick.
Bye.